In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet my Maxi Octo pattern. The Mini Octo has been so popular, many viewers asked for a larger version. You can find the pattern for both of these Octos free on my website, or you can grab the ad-free printable version on Etsy or Ravelry. If you enjoy content like this, be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now let's get started. For materials, I'm using a 6mm crochet hook, and then I'm going to list the rest of the materials here on the screen. I will also add this material list to the drop-down description box below. To begin, make a slip knot of your choice. I wrap the yarn around my fingers twice. This is how I like to make a slip knot when I'm using plush yarns. Grab the yarn and chain 1 to secure the ring. Now place 8 single crochet into the ring. Now I like to place a stitch marker into the very last stitch. To close the ring, place your fingers on the back of your work and gently pull the tail. This helps support the yarn and reduces the chance of it breaking. Round 2. We're now going to increase into each stitch all the way around. This means we're going to place 2 stitches into each stitch all the way around. The increases will make this V shape. Continue placing 2 stitches into each stitch all the way around until you have 16 stitches total. Once I have all 16 stitches, I will show you how my work is looking. Here I am at the very last stitch. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, place the increase into that stitch, and then replace my stitch marker into the very last stitch of my work. And again, we should have 16 stitches. Round 3. For this round, we are going to be increasing into the first stitch and single crocheting into the next stitch. This is going to get repeated all the way around. At the end of this round, we should have 24 stitches. Continue working the repeat of increase and single crochet until you get to the stitch marker, and then I will meet back up and show you how my work is looking. Here I am at the very end of the round, and if we increased properly, we should have a single crochet into the very last stitch. Again, we should have 24 stitches. Replace your stitch marker into the last stitch. Now for the next 5 rounds, rounds 4 through 8, we're just going to place a single crochet into each stitch all the way around. As you go, your work should start looking like a bowl or a hat. You can count your rows by counting these horizontal lines going around your work. Here I am at the very end of round 8, and my work looks very much like a bowl or a hat. Now I'm going to place the plastic eyes. I am adding 16mm plastic eyes between rounds 5 and 6, 3 to 4 visible stitches apart. As you see here, I have 3 visible stitches between the eyes. Before I add the backing to my plastic eyes, I really like to use this Fabric Fusion glue and place a small dot into the space where I put the eyes. I've noticed it really helps secure the eyes and helps prevent them from falling out. Next, I just press on the backing, and it's much easier if you use an eye jig, but I don't have one right now. And then I repeat the process for the second eye. Sometimes I also use the cap from the glue to press on the back of the eye. It kind of works just like the jig. Now that the eyes are placed, we can continue crocheting. From here, we are going to begin the tentacles. For this tutorial, we are going to do option 2 in the pattern, which means we are not going to be cutting our yarn. When looking at the top of your crochet stitches, you will have a front loop, which is closer to you, and a back loop, which runs along the inner side of your work. We are going to be working into the front loops only on this next round, so move your stitch marker into the back loop of the last stitch. Single crochet front loop only. Chain 8. Single crochet increase into the second chain from hook. You're going to then increase into each chain all the way down. 2 single crochet into the same chain is the increase. This increasing causes your work to curl up, so we have a nice curly tentacle. Obviously, I'm crocheting very fast here, so if you need to press the pause button, we can catch back up when you reach the end of your chain. Once you've reached the end of the chain, you should have 14 single crochet. And now we have 1 tentacle complete. Look how nice and curly it is. Single crochet front loop only, 3 stitches. And now this is going to be our repeat, chaining 8 and doing the tentacle, and then 3 single crochet front loop only. You're going to repeat that around until you have 8 total tentacles. Here we are at the end. I have 8 total tentacles, and this is how my work is looking. As you see here from the stitch marker, I have 2 stitches, and if you count that first one we single crocheted into, we still have 3 stitches between each leg. We're going to single crochet front loop only into our last 2 stitches. From here we are going to close the octo, and we're going to be working into those back loop only from round 8. So going right from the beginning here, you're going to pull the first tentacle forward. We're going to decrease back loop only all the way around our work. So this means we're going to be inserting our hook into 2 back loops and creating 1 stitch. So it's going to be a decrease. Continue in this fashion all the way around the bottom of the octo. At the end, you should have 12 stitches. From here, we're going to add stuffing to the octo. When I add stuffing to my plushies, I like to add the stuffing towards the sides of the plushie first, kind of creating a bowl. As you add more stuffing, you're just going to add more to the center of the work. This way, the sides of your plushie are really nice and smooth, and you don't have a bunch of lumps from the stuffing. Make sure to add just enough stuffing so that your octo is firm and not too squishy, and you also don't want it overstuffed. This will stretch your stitches and the stuffing will show through. Round 11, we're going to single crochet decrease all the way around. At the end of this round, you should have 6 stitches. Once the last round is complete, pull the tail through the last loop of your hook. Then, using a yarn needle or even your crochet hook, I like to work into 2 stitches at a time and go around the opening. Pull the tail to close the last space, and then simply weave in the tail. I like to weave it in several times so that it doesn't pull loose. And now your sweet maxi octo is all finished. Be sure to make lots of colorful friends, and in the comments section below, let me know if you've made the mini and the maxi octo now. Check out my written pattern on Etsy and Ravelry. Share this tutorial with your friends, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Have a lovely crochet day, and I hope to see you again in my next tutorial.